welcome back to the family channel.
Hello.
I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today, and today we're going to be reacting to Louisiana style blue crabs. Now guys, this is a recommendation from me.
Yeah, Garen chose this video today because he loves his seafood.
Yes, I do.
I think we all love our seafood,
Yes.
but when we eat seafood on the rare occasion, Kat and I always tend to give Garen an extra couple of ours because he just loves it so much. Leia's not so much, is it?
No, it's really funny because she used to love seafood, and then something changed, and I think she's kind of like, even though she's enjoying it, like
She's
in loves the
nervous.
taste, she's kind of nervous because she thinks like she may get a food poisoning. So
I think it might be my fault because I told her in South Africa once I got food poisoning
Yeah.
from crayfish, and it made me
now
so sick.
she's so wary of seafood.
And chicken though.
And chicken.
Karen, that's not for you.
The only thing she's not scared to eat at the moment is pasta.
Yeah. Also, guys, huge thank you for the Patreon.
Oh yeah, thank you guys so
Signed
much.
up for it, yeah, and we're gonna be checking this video out today. But before we do, please make sure to subscribe and hit the like button.
Good job, dude.
All right, y'all, there's a big debate on whether you should steam blue crabs or boil them. And I don't know if it's me just being from Louisiana or what, but I just don't see the purpose of steaming crabs and throwing the seasoning on top. But I guess everybody just has their own preference, and this is mine. You season your water up to perfection, add things like onions, garlic, celery, whatever you like to add that extra flavor, and you're good to go. None of that extra seasoning or anything is needed. And those vegetables like the onions and garlic are super tender and a great side addition to your crab boil. And I know people say boiled crabs are waterlogged and just mushy, but that's not true. You're just not doing it right. And that's why I'm here right now to show you exactly how to do it. It'll be the most flavorful crabs you'll ever have, and you'll never turn back. It's super flaky, full of flavor, and I'm telling y'all, it's precious. And this is no disrespect to the Maryland way, the way y'all steam them. This is just how I was brought up in Louisiana, so we don't have to have all those comments in between about one way is the right way. That's the beauty of food and why I love everything about it. One person might like one thing one way, and another person might like it the other, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, make sure that y'all subscribe and turn on those push notifications because we get real deep down in the salt with these recipes, and I would love for y'all to join this journey. Give this video a thumbs up and let's get into it.
Wow.
So boom, first we started off by heading to our seafood lot. This is in Westwego, Louisiana. When dealing with seafood, you want to find wherever has the freshest seafood, and for us, this is it. The crabs are live and active, and there's different brackets of what type of crabs you...
I tell you what, I get so jealous when I see stuff like this. Let me just put Karen down.
We don't have this here.
No, not even
Like
close.
that.
We were lucky in South Africa. We had good seafood. Like, we could get seafood anytime. But here in Slovakia, because it's landlocked especially, most of the fish we get is frozen. Or, like, you go to somewhere like Lidl or Kaufland sometimes, and they'll have sea bream. But it's like, for sea bream that used to cost a couple quid in England, here it's extortionate.
Yeah.
And I can remember the seafood in Croatia.
Yeah, you enjoyed that.
You could catch lots of crabs even.
Yeah.
We should have ate some.
That was in also in Torquay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's few shops in Slovakia, mainly in Bratislava, and then that metro shop, which is similar to, it's like a wholesaler shop, which is not far from us. It's probably an hour and a bit drive.
Yeah, we need to go.
They do sell definitely a fresh seafood, but like in Bratislava, which is capital of Slovakia, because there is a Danube River, they obviously bring all the fresh seafood like right there.
Yeah.
But it just looks like they don't bother to.
Maybe we'll need to travel
spread it
to,
across.
because Bratislava is what, 3 hours from
Yeah.
us. So maybe one day we'll go.
That's like a
can get.
normal
And the way you
American.
buy crabs, about a dozen, so you could get them from cheapest to more expensive from left to right. Of course, the ones on the left will be smaller, but every type of crab has its own purpose depending on the dish you're using it. But since we want boiled crabs and at the start of the dish, we're going to go with the biggest ones. And the smallest ones go from $14 a dozen all the way to the biggest ones being $30 a dozen. And the great thing about
$30 a
seafood lots is they
dozen?
make their
How
own
much
price.
is a dozen?
12.
Oh,
That's not bad.
that's really
2
good
dozen,
price.
24 crabs, 60 quid, $60, and we can have a little mini feast. Get some crawfish or some shrimp
So
over
if you're a
there.
regular or they just having a good day, they'll give you a discount. I got the $30 crabs for half price. That's $15 a dozen, and that's $1 more than what the smallest crabs would be.
Oh my
So of
Nice.
course this is a steal, and I need all that. I'll explain the purpose for the ice later, but for now, let's get back home. Just like I did in my crawfish boil video, you want to add some things to enhance that
Nice,
flavor of the
good.
boil.
Oh,
First, we're
nice.
going to start off with a bag of onions. You don't have to cut the skin off. Once it goes in the boil, it'll just fall off and these onions will be super tender. And of course, garlic goes in anything. Just like with the onions, you don't have to take the skin off. We're going to throw this right up in there and it'll get super tender just like the onion. I'm telling y'all, the prep work for this
Oh,
is
the
super
whole
simple.
Yes,
bag.
what a man. I would cut the garlic in half though.
Yeah,
I don't know,
like
I just
to
feel
get the
I feel
flavours
like
out.
it puts more flavor
Yeah.
out there, and I love garlic. Like I'm obsessed with and onions.
I like the little like ting to it.
Now, after we add that, you could add stuff like celery and all that, but we're not going to do that this
Oranges?
time. I'm going to go with a 4-pound bag of oranges to add that citrus to the boil. This will add a nice sweetness to go with that spicy that's going to be in here. Some people add things like pineapples, but I just don't like the flavor it gives it. But some people love it and add it in there. So again, whatever you like, you can throw it in there.
I don't know.
And of course, another perfect pairing with
Lemon,
seafood will be lemon. Some people say the acid from the lemons will break down the shells of seafood and make it easier to peel. I'm not really sure if that's a fact or not. You can look that up, but I just like the flavor it adds, so I put lemons in all my seafood boils. Now, if you're having a bunch of people over and you don't feel like
Need to
feeding
pick
them
a
all
bowl.
these types of crabs, it's perfect to have sides. I'm going with potatoes. You could add things like sausage. People add green beans, mushrooms, all that.
Oh,
But
yeah,
since
put
this
all
is
of
just a
that.
quick boil, we're
Maybe
not
not the
doing
green
too much extra. We're just going to add the potatoes. I also like to add corn. I just didn't do it this time. As far as the potatoes go, my favorite one to use would be baby red potatoes. You don't have to slice them or anything. They perfect size. Just throw them right on in there. Don't be intimidated by a seafood
that
boil
pot
pot.
there.
If you have just a dozen or so, you can do this in a big pot inside. Since I'm doing a lot of crabs, I'm
Crazy,
going to go ahead and
isn't
use
it?
my boiler outside. You want to fill it up to the max line, and then we're going to turn on our propane. The propane tank I had was running out, so I just used the last of what it had left, but I just needed the water warm enough just to start dissolving those seasonings into it. Now, you really don't need to squeeze the lemon and orange juice into the water. All that citrus will be pulled out while it's boiling. I just wanted Savannah
Look
to
at
be
his shirt. Add parsley on top, and it's basically a salad. So true.
involved in the process, so we squeezed it in there. Some people squeeze it, but you really don't need to. Now, once that's done, we're going to go ahead and add in our vegetables. We had the onions and garlic. You could add celery or whatever else, but we just went with onions and garlic. And now we're going to go ahead with our seasonings.
All right, so 2/3 cup of garlic, a 2/3 cup of granulated onion,
Oh my god.
2/3 cup of salt or accent. You don't have to use accent if you don't want the MSG. And then if you want some spice,
What
you
is
get-
MSG?
Monosodium glutamate or something. I can't remember what it is. It's like I don't know.
And salt?
I don't know how to describe it, dude. That's another good question. We'll Google that later on because
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
and some cayenne pepper. A lot of people don't use butter, but we're gonna throw some salted butter in there.
In a seafood boil, when the seafood is soaking, it soaks up all the flavor of everything that's in the boil. So why not add that richness of butter in there? That's just my opinion. If you don't think it does anything, just don't add the butter into it.
That's nah.
That would be a very expensive dish in Slovakia with the price of butter.
Oh
in
yeah,
the moment, isn't
even
it?
butter has gone crazy expensive. It's mental, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I have a bath in
Yeah,
there.
it's like 4 euros for small butter. Like it's mental. Like
Yeah, it used to be €1 when we got
Yeah.
here for like a block of butter. Now it's 4-5 euros
Yeah.
depending on where you go.
Yeah, I could just imagine bathing in that, eating onions and crabs.
Usually they have the tops that you can just screw it off, but if they don't have that, you're gonna have to sit there and do it like that.
I wouldn't have the patience to drill a
Then
hole
you have
into
a
it.
3.5 ounce container of dried bay leaves. And with crabs, you usually have to season it a little bit more than what you would season crawfish with. So we're gonna go with a whole bottle of liquid concentrate.
Oh,
I wonder
I know
how.
the good.
Okay.
I know the good
Lemon,
trick for this.
garlic, and
What's
onion.
that?
For pouring the liquid in.
They poke a hole in the bottom of the
No.
bottle.
Just
no,
like
you
that.
just
Yeah.
spin it like
yeah.
that,
Spin it.
and then it like flows out.
I wonder
like-
how.
like
I wonder what
quicker.
that concentrate tastes like because it's got to be pretty strong. Hey,
Yeah.
it's got to be potent.
So regular. This is a boil booster. This one's salt free, so you don't have to be hesitant about how much of this you add.
Oh, salt free.
It'll just enhance the flavor of
how
the
much
garlic
does this have to cost?
and herbs.
Yeah, the
and
crabs are
lemon,
cheap, but everything else.
And when it's
Yeah.
not seasoned enough, you still add in about 4 pounds of your favorite crab boil.
£4.
Oh!
I like this
And
guy.
when seasoned right, the crabs will absorb every single flavor.
How much?
That's a lot of seasoning.
How much does all the spices in that cost? I wonder, just to make this. That's crazy. Look,
That's gonna be at least 200.
I mean, like,
he's mixing it with a
is
boat
it really
oil.
necessary?
Yeah.
Because like the crab meat is tasty already.
Yeah, but like even when I've seen people do the crawfish boil, what they do is they'll save the water and freeze it and use it as stocks as well.
The
Okay.
fact that he just said, I just put 4 pounds of crab oil.
And that's extra.
But that's in here. It might not look seasoned on the outside, but the inside will be full of flavor.
It
That's
does
why I
look
never
seasoned.
really understood why you throw the seasoning on top, because you want your actual meat to be flavored. But to get this boil really going, we're gonna go ahead and change out our propane tank and get that flame high. This double burner on full blast will really get this water boiling in about 10 minutes. It's very convenient.
like a
And once our
rocket.
water starts to get hot, we're gonna go ahead and add our potatoes and let it cook for about 10 minutes because this will take the longest to cook. And while that's going, I told y'all earlier I was gonna explain to y'all the reason behind putting ice on top of your crab, and here it is. First, you want to make sure that any excess water in your ice chest is drained because you don't want them soaking in that ice water. It'll kill them. We still want them alive. When crabs go into boiling hot water, they tend to detach their claws from their body. It's just a natural reaction. So you want to add that ice on top because it basically puts them straight to sleep. It gives the same effect of
Like
anesthesia.
sleep?
So the crabs are still alive and fresh.
close my
They're
legs.
just asleep and lose that sensation to detach the claws when they go into the water. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all how you tell the
at how
difference
kids-
between a male and a female crab. On a male crab, they'll have
got a
the
small
back plate
feet.
on them that is very narrow, and
Female's
their
big.
tips of the claws will be blue. Whereas on
Sorry to pause again. In South Africa, we used to catch crabs in freshwater
Uh-huh.
ones, and the females would always check first if they had eggs or babies.
Oh.
To make sure we weren't killing them, because we used to eat them from the lake. We'd boil water in like a coffee tin or something, me and Devon, and
I
then
would do that.
yeah, it was-
Talking crabs, I just read an article. You know, in Hrabovo, where is that water dam? I think
Oh,
you
yeah,
filmed
yeah,
it as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
There is the video there as well somewhere on a YouTube. There
Oh,
is
yeah,
that
yeah.
big water dam, and then from that water from the water dam is like going like down the stream, and the people call the nature
oh, like the rangers.
rangers, and because the water is not flowing from the dam, so people had to go and collect fish.
Dead fish in that.
They saved some. There was an eel and a trout and a catfish or something, but loads of
Crayfish.
crayfish.
What blocked it up?
It's not blocked up. There is no water.
Oh.
Oh,
There is no
yeah.
water.
I hear what you're saying now. I thought you meant it blocked out the. Yeah.
Yes, so they had to like come and save these crabs, but a lot of them actually died, and it's such a shame because they are protected.
Yeah, they're endangered here, the crayfish.
I
here.
remember we found one.
But my thing is, I think there is no water in a dam because they already started to make snow on the mountains.
What is there no water in the actual dam or the stream?
There is not enough water. It's
Flipping
not
heck.
high enough.
Flipping heck, because that's quite a big
Yeah.
and it's deep.
mature female crab, they'll have more of a wider back plate, and the tips of their claws will be an orange color. You can kind of think of it as the female crab has fingernail polish. It's really that simple. Now that we have our water boiling, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to throw our crabs right in there.
Now we got 2 dozen crabs. We're using another dozen that we're gonna put on the grill.
Now what you want to do is bring your water back up to a rolling boil, and I like to let them boil for about 6 to 8 minutes. And with a boiling pot, even adding those frozen crabs, this water will come right back to a boil
Boils
within
quick,
minutes.
eh?
That's why I love it so much. But now we just gonna close it off and let it cook. And this isn't a sponsored ad or anything. I just love the way this boil pot
It's like a
works.
wheelie
I
bin.
got
Yeah,
this
it's
one
like a
from
bin.
Academy.
Just sit
It boils everything super efficient,
This
and I
one
love
looks
it
like
for
a
all of
wheelie-
my seafood
wheelie bin.
boils outdoors. And believe it or not, this is the smaller
that we
version.
have.
Now, after the crabs are finished boiling, this is an essential part of the whole thing. This is called the soak. I like to soak it 2 different ways. The first one, I turn the heat off and let it have a hot soak for about 15 minutes. As you can see, the claws are still attached to our crab, so it did exactly what it needed to do in that ice. After a hot soak, I like to do what's called a zesty soak. We're going to add ice into it and let it really absorb those flavors.
It soaks all the water. Just that ice would cost a fortune.
And I know a lot of people gonna say adding ice to it is gonna make it dilute the flavor, but you add so much flavor to this, it's not really gonna do anything to it. And here goes my daughter trying to make sure daddy stays hydrated. It is hot out here in Louisiana heat, for real.
Bigger than her, that
Now, you
bottle.
know your seafood is done once they start to sink to the bottom. That means they've shocked themselves and absorbed all the flavor and pulled it in and sunk themselves to the bottom. I did the zesty soak for about 25 minutes. The longer you let them soak, the more they'll absorb that flavor. Just pull them out and look at that. Yes, Lord. Now it's time to go ahead and dump them out. And you really could let them cool for a little while because they'll be super hot. But I needed to try these right now. First, we had the onion. As you can see, the skin is off and it's super tender. It's delicious. It has a sweetness to it. I just love it. Now we have our garlic. The garlic, you can squeeze it right out. Add this on some garlic.
You would need a shower after eating this, not just to wash his face, isn't it? When he was small, we got some crayfish. I think I put a photo up before. If I can find it, I'll do it again. And I think we only got like 4 or 5 of those little crayfish things, and his whole face, you were covered. Can you imagine with this? Because you still eat like that now when you enjoy something.
It's like when you enjoy something, you don't really care about that. You just have the.
That's why I'm growing my beard back for the winter, because it's loads of stews in that. Yeah, don't say that. We do.
Garlic bread, eat it as is. It's just super
nice
flavorful. And another
crispy
thing that
toast,
I love.
yeah.
Then you have your
With butter.
potatoes. They're super tender, full of that spicy flavor. Dip them in some butter. You're good to go. Now we're going to break down the crab. First, we're going to start off with the claws. This is my daughter's favorite part, so I'm going to go ahead and break it down for her. And a lot of people have the crab crackers and stuff, but we just crack the claws with our teeth in Louisiana. Now I'm going to go ahead and get that piece to my daughter and then break down the rest of the claw, and then we're going to get into breaking down the crab. First, we're going to go ahead and remove that little back plate. Then put your thumb in between and separate the shell from the body. You can clean the shell, save it, and make stuffed crabs with them. And what I'm doing right here is removing the lungs. That's not edible. You want to take that out. And unlike the popular snow crabs and king crabs, the meat is not in the legs. It's in the body. They have meat in the legs, but the majority of your meat is going to come from the body. So you want to break that down and get all that meat out. And a lot of people are going to just say it's too much work, but in Louisiana, it's therapeutic. Y'all go ahead and leave in the comments whether y'all like steamed crabs or boiled crabs. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and just like...
I didn't enjoy that video.
Yeah, I love that.
It's just a shame that we can't eat it.
No, that's what I mean. Like when we come over there next year, I hope we're going to be able to try this sort of stuff. I'm all for, like, I have to try barbecue. I have to
fast
try.
food.
Garen and Leia want to try the fast foods, but this is the sort of stuff I want to meet up with someone so they can show us how to do it. You know, like he says, therapeutic. You sit there, you have a chat, you talk about it. Like, it sounds weird, but you're from the other side of the world, you know.
Yeah.
So I want to just talk and figure out,
Maybe
like,
with this guy.
well, yeah, because I mean, they pass their recipes down. A lot of people, don't they? Like family recipes. So, like, how far does the recipe go back? Oh, my granddad taught me this. His granddad taught him. You know, I love that sort of stuff. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. Funny enough, I was actually looking at tickets this morning, and they are still quite expensive, but they seem to be a bit lower than they were at the beginning of this, well, middle of this year. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, they seem to be going down. So hopefully we can book something. And
That'll be nice.
yeah, even if it's just me and you.
Yeah.
I would never do that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. If you've got any video recommendations, feel free to fire a comment down below, or you can send us an email, or however you want to get in touch. Thank you again to all of those of you who have subscribed to Patreon. It really means a lot to us. It was your guys' idea for us to do it. As I said, it is my old one, so there are some videos there. Garen has got a hockey game tomorrow that I will be filming, and that will go up on Patreon. It has to go up on Patreon, I'm afraid. I can't put it on a public forum because obviously there's children involved, and I'll try to keep as focused as I can on him, but it's pretty difficult as well.
Yeah, but it depends if you go to the game or if I'll go to the game.
But whoever goes, we're gonna film it anyway.
They're connecting our solars tomorrow.
Yeah, our solar panels are getting connected up. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you have a fantastic rest of the evening, and we will see who win
Next video.
Bye.